Have you ever watched a 3-year-old learn to speak and wondered how they do it so effortlessly? They don't sit with flashcards, they don't drill grammar rules, they don't spend hours memorizing vocabulary lists. And yet, within a few years, they've mastered a complete language. Thousands of words, complex grammar, natural pronunciation, all without a single textbook. Meanwhile, adults spend years studying a foreign language, attending classes, using apps, repeating phrases over and over, and still struggle to hold a basic conversation. What's the difference? Is it that children's brains are just better at language learning? No. The real difference is how they learn. Let me prove it to you with a simple test. When I say the word apple, what comes to your mind? You probably see the image of a red fruit, right? Maybe you even imagine the taste, the crisp bite, the sweet juice. Now, imagine you're learning Spanish. You hear the word manzana. What happens in your brain? Most people immediately think of the English word apple first, and then they might picture the fruit. Do you see the problem? There's an extra step, a mental detour through translation. A child doesn't do that. When a Spanish-speaking child hears manzana, they see the fruit directly. No translation. No middleman. The word and the image are fused together in their mind. That direct connection is what makes learning fast, natural, and permanent. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to learn a language the way a child does, by bypassing translation and building direct connections between words and reality. And when you apply this method, you can learn a new language up to 27 times faster than traditional approaches. Let's start by exposing the biggest mistake almost every language learner makes, relying on translation. When you're learning a new word in French, Spanish, Italian, or any other language, what's your instinct? You hear macchina in Italian, and immediately your brain searches for the English equivalent, car. You store that pair in your memory, macchina equals car, and you think you've learned something. But here's the truth. Your brain hasn't truly learned the word. It's just created a detour. Every time you want to use that word, your mind has to take 2 steps instead of 1. You think of the concept car, translate it to macchina, and then speak. It's slow, exhausting, and unnatural. Worse, it keeps you trapped in your native language. You're not thinking in Italian. You're thinking in English and translating on the fly. Now imagine learning the way a child does. When an Italian child hears macchina, they don't think of any other word. They see the image of a car, wheels turning, engine humming, moving, down the street. The word and the image are one. There's no translation barrier. This is the foundation of accelerated language learning. Link words directly to images, experiences, and sensations, not to translations. When you hear perro in Spanish, don't think dog. See the animal running through the park, tail wagging, barking with joy. Hear the sound. Feel the energy. When you hear maison in French, don't think house. Picture a door opening, the smell of fresh bread from the kitchen, the warmth of being home. This shift from translation to visualization is what unlocks exponential learning speed. It's the difference between carrying a heavy backpack with every word and moving freely, naturally, fluently. Now here's the next level of the method, and it's where most people completely miss the mark. It's not enough to just hear or read a new word. You must actively engage with it, and the most powerful way to do that is through explanation. Let me be clear. When you only read, listen, or silently review, your brain can trick you. It operates in energy-saving mode, convincing you that you've understood when, in reality, the knowledge is shallow and fragile. You think you know it, but the moment you try to use it, the words vanish. But when you force yourself to explain something out loud, there's no place to hide. If you don't truly understand it, you'll stumble. And that stumbling, that moment of confusion, is pure gold. It's your brain showing you exactly where the gaps are. Think about it. If you've just learned 10 new words in Spanish, don't just move on to the next lesson. Stop, close your book, and explain those words out loud as if you were teaching them. To someone who's never heard Spanish before. Okay, so mesa means wait. It's a table. I picture a wooden table in a kitchen. Silla is a chair. I see myself sitting on a chair at that same table. You might feel silly talking to yourself, but that discomfort is exactly where learning happens. The act of turning thought into speech forces your brain to organize scattered information into coherent structure. It's like taking puzzle pieces, scattered across a table, and snapping them into place so the picture finally makes sense. This is why you should always explain what you've just learned. Even if you haven't mastered it yet, teach it to yourself out loud. Repeat it as if you were giving a lesson. And if someone is nearby, dare to explain it to them. Don't be afraid of sounding awkward. Don't worry if your explanation is incomplete or full of holes. The very act of transforming thought into words makes your brain work at a higher level. And in trying to explain it correctly, your mind automatically pushes itself to learn deeper. This is when you shift from passive consumption to active learning. And active learning is what separates people who spend years struggling from those who become fluent in months. Each time you explain, even to yourself in the mirror, you're building confidence. You're telling your mind, I can master this. And that confidence is fuel. It keeps you going, prevents you from quitting, and drives you to review until everything is crystal clear. So engrave this principle deep inside you. Those who explain, learn. Those who teach, retain. Those who organize. What they know, achieve mastery. This is the force that allows someone to absorb a language 27 times faster. Now, let me tell you something crucial. Without this next element, you will never be able to learn another language effectively, no matter how good your method is. That element is concentration. Most people study for hours and convince themselves they're making progress, but in reality, they're just wasting time. They sit with their language app open, but their mind is wandering. They glance at their phone, they check social media, they think about dinner. That's not studying, it's self-deception. Here's the hard truth. Studying for hours without focus is worthless, but 30 minutes of absolute attention, that's pure fire. The secret is to use short, highly focused study sessions with precise breaks. Structure your learning into blocks. For example, if you want to study for 2 hours today, divide it into 4 sessions of 30 minutes each, with a 10-minute break between them. But during each of those 30 minutes, eliminate every distraction. Silence your phone. Close the browser tabs. Turn off notifications. Give your complete, undivided attention to that single block of time. Think about how many times you've tried to study, but your phone buzzed, someone called you, or your mind simply drifted. That isn't learning. It's fragmented attention, and it steals the power from every minute you invest. Distraction is the silent thief that robs years from your life. Every second you allow yourself to be interrupted is a piece of energy stolen from your dream of fluency. Focus, and you multiply the value of every minute tenfold. Here's another secret. It's not about studying more. It's about studying better. Organize your priorities. If you only have 1 hour a day, don't waste it on irrelevant details. Always ask yourself, what's the single most important thing that will push me forward right now? That answer becomes your compass. By concentrating on the essential, you cut out the excess and go straight to the core of learning. Understand this. Concentration is not a gift only a few people are born with. It's a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. At first, maybe you'll manage only 5 minutes of real focus, then 10, then 20, then 40. Eventually, you'll reach a state where immersing yourself in the new language feels so natural that you forget the world around you. That is the zone where learning explodes, where every minute is worth hours. No matter your age, your brain is always capable of learning. But here's the first and most important commandment. Never try to memorize. Always visualize. Most people fail at language learning because they treat their mind like a storage box. They try to cram words into their head through sheer repetition, drilling lists over and over until their eyes glaze over. But the brain wasn't designed to memorize isolated data. It was designed to connect, to visualize, to create meaning. That's why every time you learn a new word, don't translate it. Picture the image of the object itself. If you learn the word coche in Spanish, don't think of the English word car. See the image of an actual car. Watch the wheels turning. Hear the engine revving. Feel the leather seat beneath you. Imagine yourself gripping the steering wheel and driving down an open highway. That vivid scene ties the word directly to a real experience, to the tangible world, without passing through the barrier of translation. Your mind begins to understand the language the way a child understands the world, naturally, vividly, without intermediaries. Now apply this principle to everything you learn. If you hear manzana in Spanish, don't think apple. Picture a bright red fruit glistening under the sunlight. Smell its fresh, crisp scent. Feel the smooth skin in your hand. Hear the crunch as you take the first bite. Taste the sweet juice on your tongue. If you learn perro, don't translate it as dog. See the animal bounding through the park, ears flapping, tail wagging furiously, tongue hanging out as it barks with pure joy. If you learn casa, don't think house. Picture a door swinging, open, the warm aroma of a home-cooked meal drifting from the kitchen, the sound of laughter echoing in the hallway, the comfort of being surrounded by family. This is the central point of the method. Bring the language into your reality. Turn words into experiences, and experiences into memory. The more vivid and sensory the scene you create, the faster your brain locks it in. The stronger the emotional or sensory connection, the more permanent the learning. This is exactly why children learn a language 27 times faster. They absorb the word together with the image of the object, with the direct experience. Adults, on the other hand, have been conditioned to translate, and that extra step is like carrying a boulder up a mountain with every word you try to learn. It's slow, exhausting, and ineffective. The secret to accelerating your learning is simple. Go back to learning the way a child does. Connect every word to an image, to a scene, to a sensation. Now let me give you the complete practical formula for learning any language at breathtaking speed. Step 1. Study in 30-minute blocks of total focus. During those 30 minutes, shut everything else out and immerse yourself in the language as if nothing else exists. Your phone is off. Your mind is locked in. This is sacred time. Step 2. After each block, take a 10-minute break. This pause is not wasted time. It's when your brain consolidates what you've just learned. It processes, organizes, and stores the information. Rest is part of the learning process. Step 3. Never translate. Always visualize. If you hear caro, don't think car. See the car. Feel the steering wheel in your hands. Imagine yourself driving down the street, wind in your hair, music playing. Step 4. After each study session, explain out loud what you've just learned. It doesn't matter if it feels awkward. By teaching, you force your mind to organize what it knows, and that's when learning multiplies exponentially. This is the formula. Short, focused study blocks plus visualization instead of translation, plus explanation out loud. Apply this consistently, and you will learn any language at a speed that will astonish you. Let me explain why this method is so devastatingly effective. When you translate, you create a two-step process. Your brain has to go from concept, native language word, foreign language word. Every time you want to speak, you're running a slow, clunky program. But when you visualize, you create a direct link, concept, foreign language word. You've cut out the middleman. You're thinking in the language itself, not translating on the fly. This is what fluency feels like. It's not laboriously converting sentences in your head. It's speaking naturally, instinctively, the way you speak your native language. And when you add the power of explanation, you're not just passively receiving information, you're actively constructing knowledge. You're building neural pathways that are strong, flexible, and permanent. This combination, visualization plus explanation plus focused repetition, is what allows you to learn 27 times faster than traditional methods. Now, I want you to do something transformative. Write in the comments below the very first word or phrase you will practice today using this method of images, without translation. Put it in writing, because when you commit publicly, your mind takes it seriously. And if this content resonated with you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because here you'll learn the way few people actually teach. Remember, focus is power, visualization is speed, explanation is mastery. Whoever masters their own mind can master any language and any destiny. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.